Hey guys, so this is Laker Talk right now, and the season for the Lakers came out approximately 2 days ago to see what their schedule looks like, and I'm hearing a lot of good things as far as what people expect since they have a so-called easy schedule. Um, I'm hearing that they might be going 15-2, 19-3, because a lot of the teams that they're playing with, the first few games are teams that are or actually above 500 last season, but have lost some key players along the way that might enable the Lakers to get easier wins than usual. Um, my point to this is not to get so caught up in listening to the media, especially being a Laker fan and seeing what happened last year and getting your hopes high, thinking that they have to they expect to have the best record in the NBA within the next first few games of the season. And we got to remember that we are incorporating a lot of new players uh, in Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, and a few other role players, and Avery Bradley, as well as I'm forgetting a few. Green, also from Toronto, and a few others. This is a whole new team. We did manage to re-sign Rajon Rondo as well as McGee, which is great. A lot of the familiar faces coming back. But at the same time, we shouldn't put so much emphasis of having the best record within the next few games because, truth be told, I really don't care about the season record. I feel like the Lakers have so much talent in their team that I want to see it gel well. Not so much that they go ahead and have the best record in the NBA, but that they find ways to work together as a team and kind of gel and kind of grow each game and see that growth within the team. Because after all, like I mentioned, we're gonna have guys that weren't there before. I'm excited to see DeMarcus Cousins if he's going to be back at least 90, 85, maybe 90% of who he was prior from his Achilles injury. And from the looks of last season when he was playing with Golden State, honestly, he looked great coming back for a few months. It wasn't even a full year of recovery, and he came back and he played phenomenal for them. And I think if he had a few more touches, let's say Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson was out, or any of their big names, and they gave him the ball, I think he'd average easily a 20-10 um, with that team. I understand he was injured last during the playoffs, but he still put forth two good games for them, even with his injury. He is a defensive liability as far as the pick and roll is concerned, which could limit his chances of getting more touches on the floor. But the guy is an offensive force to be reckoned with, and I think he's going to remind people um, of what type of player he is, and when healthy, when given the chance. Plus, he's looking for that contract. Unfortunately, he never got that contract with the Kings, and things kind of spiraled out of control after that. Even with was it team the Pelicans that he played for. But really quick, the teams that just get back on track. The Lakers will be playing teams like the Wizards, Grizzlies. You're talking about the Pelicans, and Thunder twice. So these are teams that they're almost guaranteed wins, but I'm not looking for wins. I'm actually looking for progress. And the last thing we need is just to be critical of every single game that they play. I know it's a la la land, and then this is we expect to win every single game, even when the odds are against us. I mean, there are some Laker fans that expect to win every single championship, even with the teams that we've had previously, even last season. Although last season, the first few games, I liked the way the team was gelling before LeBron's injury and the way things were going. I liked how they were performing as a team and working together as a team. And each, within the next 10 games, you saw every 10 games, increments of 10 games, you saw them progress. And that's what I want this season to see. I don't want to judge them in the first 5 games and say, oh, they're 1-5 and they were supposed to beat these teams. No, 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 no. I, this is a long season, and I hope Laker fans understand that this is a long 82 games span season, and it's hard in the West. Regardless of the fact that they have Anthony Davis, he's been injury prone for most of his career, and I don't want him to play 30 to 40 minutes just because I want the best record in the NBA. I think it's overrated. I think we should use guys like Kuzma at the best of his abilities, give him as many minutes as you can, limit LeBron's minutes throughout the season. And that's something that I'll get in a topic later on some other time. But I want to see progress within the team and see how well they're gelling and what lineups work well. And not be so. I want Laker fans not to be so critical of Frank Vogel and think just because Jason Kidd is on the bench that we are automatically going to put him in. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that these media people start tagging a guy like Frank Vogel when he's barely got 10 games under his belt and think the game it's over. LeBron doesn't like him. No. These are in the end of the day. I'm not trying to be sounding too sentimental, but these are people's lives and these are people's jobs. And Frank Vogel's proven that he can coach a team. Unfortunately, he ran into LeBron James and the force he had against when he was playing them in Indy and in Cleveland. It was just tough to beat, and I understand all that. But actually, I think he had issues. I think he was with Miami at the time. Yeah, Miami, which he had Bosh and Dwayne Wade also to play against. But my point is, we got to give these guys a chance, and maybe we can give them. Maybe we can rate him or rate the team overall after midway through the point, 35, maybe 40 games, to kind of get a sense if they really buy into what he's selling and really play good defense throughout the time. But my point is, I want Lakers to kind of remember what happened last season and us thinking that we were going to make the playoffs and moving on the right direction with a 4 seed. And if it hadn't been for LeBron's injury, I'm almost guaranteed that we would have made the playoffs. And the way things that happened with Golden State, we might have even been in the finals, quite honestly. And possibly even won it. Maybe. I mean, this isn't a long shot. I mean, Kawhi Leonard basically won the championship on his own with a bunch of role players. And LeBron James had a bunch of young role players, too, on his side. So, but my point is, it's a long season. Don't get carried away with the wins and totals. I know you're in La La Land. You have to win every single game. That's not the reality of this game. Injuries happen every game. I don't care if Lakers end up with first place in the West, honestly, or in the NBA. If I see growth in every game and they finish, let's say, by the end of the season for third place or even fourth place, but they were able to show me that they're ready when the time comes and they're in the playoffs, I don't mind it. Because number 1 seed will probably be the Clippers, who I don't care if we have home court or not with them. It's still in LA. And after that, if we have to go to Denver and beat them there, I just don't see Denver as a big threat. I guess because they don't have a legit 2 superstar tandem just that matches up with LeBron and AD, or even Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Those guys are a whole different level compared to what the Nuggets have to offer. And I actually like DeMarcus Cousins against Jokic. I think he bodies him up well with a big body, and you can kind of negate him by having another big. But we have a bunch of big bodies that'll go against him, so you're kind of left with Murray, and I don't think Murray can single-handedly take this whole team to the finals. But you never know. Like I said, it's all through injuries, and I think that if you pace yourself and not allow LeBron James to go crazy, I'm hearing all this stuff that he's coming back with a playoff the craziest season that he's ever had, and he's gonna be a monster and all this. I don't want to see that. I really think LeBron James is smart enough to realize that, yeah, he's pissed, but he knows where to store that energy and save it for. He knows what matters most. I think he's smart enough to know what Lakers want the most. And he could have, I know if he could have like the best season he's ever had in his career and average 35, 10, and 10, a triple double, right? And they lose in the finals or the Western Conference Finals, wherever they lose, none of that matters for the Lakers. None of that. None of that will be remembered. That season will be like, well, he did a great job. But he never won the championship. He never brought that chip home. So I prefer that LeBron James paces himself. I don't care if he averages 20 points with 15 minutes a game. I really don't. This isn't about the regular season up to this point for LeBron James. I think he's old enough that he knows that he can't expand that energy on a regular season when they're going to need him a lot in the playoffs. They're going to need him to facilitate. They're going to need him to make the smart decision. He's going to need to build throughout the season that winning mentality and engrave that and install that to a guy like Anthony Davis, who's never seen the Western Conference, never even got close to the Western Conference Finals. He's gonna have to teach that kid just same way he taught Kyrie Irving how to win. He's gonna have to do the same with Anthony Davis, and I think Anthony Davis is up for the challenge. But don't, as a Laker fan, anybody who's out there, don't get carried away with the regular season, and I mean this. And don't start going crazy because they start off the season, let's say 10-5, and they should have been 10-1. That's just, as long as the Lakers are progressing and you're noticing that the team is gelling well, just like they did last year before LeBron went out. I noticed a lot of the camaraderie that was happening, and I noticed their defensive intensity even picked up as the time went on. And that's when they beat Golden State by 20 points, and then you saw that and you were like, whoa, we got something here. That's what I'm looking for. So if anything, just take your time, be patient, be understanding, and don't be quick to judge. All right, Laker fans, I'll talk to you soon.